Good morning everyone. I Rupali Gupta, Assistant Professor, Department of Information Technology, IMT College of Engineering, Greater Noida. Today I am going to tell you the basic of data analytics. So let's start. The topics which we are going to cover in today's session is what is data analytics, what are the sources of data, nature of data, classification of data, and the characteristics of data. So let me start with what is data analytics. So I think everybody is aware about data. What is data? And data analytics is the combination of two words. First is data and another word is analytics. So what is data? Data is, we will be getting the data from the various sources, right? So it can be in any form. We will be discussing all the forms later on. So first of all, let me see what is analytics. Analytics is like we are analyzing the data. What is fruitful for us, we will be keeping all those data. So data analytics is basically it is the process of examining large and varied sets of data in order to uncover useful information and insights, right? So data, what I said, data is in a raw form. What we do, we process that data. When we process that data, we get the useful information about the content for which we are looking after, right? So basically, whenever we will be doing the data analytics, we will be doing the data analytics for some context. So based on that context, we will be doing the analysis. So basically, it involves collecting. So first of all, we will be collecting the data from the various sources, and then we will be doing the cleaning of that data. Then we will be organizing that data in particular format, and then we interpreting data to identify patterns, trends, and correlations that can inform decision making and improve business outcomes. So this is basically the first and the foremost objective of data analytics. We will be doing the analysis of data to find out the useful outcome, which is based on the decision and decision making, and it will basically improve the business for which we will be collecting that data. So that will be helping us to better understand our business, what is actually there, what we have to perform. I mean when any business person come to know what is there inside its business, and basically we are not able to get the better insight until and unless we will be looking after it, right? So data analytics helping us to analyze the patterns. What are the patterns, what are the trends, what are the things which are in nowadays boom. So we come to know all these things with the help of data analytics. So data analytics typically involves using statistical and machine learning techniques to analyze data and making the predictions. And it can be applied to a wide range of fields, including like marketing, finance, healthcare, and social sciences, in which we can use the data analytics, right? Let's move to the next slide. Now next topic is sources of data. So basically we have two types of sources through which we will be collecting the data. First, data can come from various sources, as we know that, and can be categorized based on their nature, that we will be studying later on. Here are some examples like primary data. So primary data, this is a data that is collected directly from the source. That is why we call them as primary data. It can be collected through surveys. We can conduct the various surveys through which we can collect the primary data. Interviews, we can take the interviews and we can perform the experiments, or based on the observations we can collect the primary data. So primary data is usually specific to a research or analysis being conducted and is collected for a specific purpose, right? And now what is secondary data? This is a data that is already available and has been collected by someone else. That is why it is known as secondary data. It can be obtained from sources such as government agencies, academic institutions, or market research firms. Secondary data can be used to complement primary data and provide additional insights. So let's move to the next topic. Next is nature of data. So the nature of data refers to the type or format of data that is being collected or analyzed. There are two main types of data. First is qualitative data. So basically qualitative data and the quantitative data. We have two types of data. So qualitative data is further divided into two parts. This type of data, what is the meaning of qualitative? This type of data describes qualities or characteristics that cannot be measured numerically. So it is not possible to measure the qualitative data, as the name signifies qualitative. So what is that? This type of data can be described in terms of qualities, not in terms of numerical figure, right? So qualitative data can be further divided into two subtypes. First is nominal data. Nominal data consists of categories or labels that do not have an inherent order or rank, right? So basically in nominal data we do not have any inherent order or rank. So basically the examples of nominal data includes gender. Like gender, we can have male, female, and we have like we can based on this can be like example can be car color. So car color can be any color like orange, green, blue, red. So these are the basically examples of nominal data. There can be more examples also like ethnicity and like eye color. So basically there is some order, like we will be giving this in category like male, female, color like red color, orange color, brown color. So we have labels for that. Next is ordinal data. Ordinal data consists of categories that have a natural order or ranking. The categories in ordinal data can be arranged in logical sequence or hierarchy. Like examples of ordinal data, which includes that include like educational level. So there is a natural ordering, like everybody goes to first of all to the school, then to college, then to pursue masters, then PhD. So it is something which is a natural order or a sequence, right? Next is socioeconomic status, like low. If somebody is from low background, can go up with the middle background, then move ahead to higher, right? So that is something which is a normal level, natural level. And level of satisfaction, like satisfaction, it is like unsatisfied, neutral, satisfied, or very satisfied, right? So these are the basically ordinal data. Next is quantitative data. This type of data consists of numerical values that represent quantities or measurements. Quantitative data can be further divided into two subtypes. So again, I have already told you that we have two types of data. One is qualitative data, another is quantitative data. Quantitative data is basically what I have said, this type of data consists of numerical values. Earlier I have told that for qualitative data there is no numerical term used in qualitative data. It is based on orders and labels, right? But in quantitative data, this type of data consists of numerical values that represent quantities or measurements. Quantitative data can be further divided into subtypes like discrete data. So discrete data consists of whole numbers or integers that are usually obtained by counting. Examples of discrete data includes like the number of cars in a parking lot. So what is that? We will be counting the total number of cars in that parking lot. We will be considering the particular parking, right? The number of students in a classroom, right? So it depends on the classroom which is under consideration, and the number of books on a shelf, right? Next is continuous data. Continuous data can take on any value within a certain range and is usually obtained by measuring. So basically what happened, continuous takes a certain range. So earlier what we have talked about, it is a discrete number or a whole number or integer, discrete data. Continuous data will be taking a certain range and is usually obtained by measuring. Examples of continuous data include height, weight, temperature and time. Everybody knows that how we will be getting the height. When we will measure the height, then we will be getting the height. And the same thing happened with the weight as well as temperature. As we keep on checking the temperature on the daily basis, it is being obtained by measuring it, right? And the time also, when we look after, then we can see the time. Understanding the nature and the type of data is important because it can affect the statistical analysis method used to draw conclusion from the data. For example, categorical data may require different statistical tests than quantitative data, and the type of quantitative data. So categorical data is basically what it is, again a qualitative data which requires the different statistical tests than quantitative data. And the type of quantitative data, discrete versus continuous, can affect the choice of statistical model used to analyze the data. Now this is the example of nature of data, as we have discussed about the qualitative data and the quantitative data. So this is the basically the example of qualitative as well as the quantitative data. As we know that we have discussed about the qualitative data. So now here is an example of nature of data. So we have different attributes, and we can see that we have studied about the qualitative and the quantitative data, right? And we know that qualitative data is divided into two parts, that is nominal and the ordinal. As I have already told you that under the nominal we have only the labels or the categories like female, male, male, female, male. And in as I have told you about the ordinal, in ordinal we have certain nature, order or a ranking, right? So like here we have I have already told you that first of all you go to the school, then the college, then you will be doing the masters or the PhD. So that is some order, and there is certain range which is defined for each order. So that age will be coming in a continuous. For the continuous, we have continuous comes under the quantitative data. So we have certain range for being a bachelor's range. So age can vary between that range only. So age is a continuous, and if we will be looking after number of children in each category, that will come under the discrete. So that will be a whole number. So basically I think the nature of data is clear to everyone. By analyzing this data, we could calculate the frequency of each gender and the education level category, right? Now let's move to the next topic. Next is classification of data. In classification of data, we have structured data, unstructured data, and the semi-structured data. So let's discuss first of all about the structured data. What is structured data? Structured data is highly organized and formatted in a specific way. It is typically stored in databases or the spreadsheets, and its format is defined by a schema. It can be a schema. Schema is some structure, or it can be in the form of table, relational databases. Structured data can easily search, queried, and analyzed using the traditional database management tools and techniques. So it is very easy if we want to search a data about a particular attribute. So with the help of structured data, we can easily search that by using the different techniques and tools. So basically the example of structured data includes the transactional data such as sales record, inventory databases, and the financial statements. So these all are in a structured format. So here we have one schema and it contains the different attributes. So if we want to analyze the data, or we want to search something about a particular customer, we can search by using the query and the different tools and techniques, right? So what is basically a unstructured data? Unstructured data has no predefined structure and is not organized in a specific way. So as I have told you that the structured data is in particular format and it is quite easy to search something from out of it, but unstructured data don't have any structure. It can come from a variety of sources including text documents, images, videos, and social media feeds. So basically these all things don't have any particular format. So unstructured data is typically more difficult to search and analyze than the structured data because it lacks the clear organization provided by the schema. So it is well written and well explained that it becomes very difficult if we want to search something out of the structured data. Unstructured data, it becomes very difficult because it is not in a particular format. But however, nowadays we have a latest technology with the help of which we can analyze the unstructured data, like we have machine learning, natural language processing, with the help of which we can analyze the unstructured data. Example of unstructured data includes the customer reviews. Suppose like social media posts and the email messages. So first of all, let me take a small example. If there is a customer who has purchased a mobile phone of XYZ model, we can say any model. So basically after using it for a few days, he expressed his reviews about the phone, like that person said the camera of that phone is very good, the screen quality is very good, and the battery life is very good. So these all the points which is being written, but that is written in the form of the statement. So it becomes very difficult to actually analyze the statement and can find out some prediction by using the unstructured data. But as nowadays and latest technology is come into an existence through which we can reach to some conclusion, but otherwise we don't have any particular format out of which we can search out whether that is appropriate or not. So now let's move to a semi-structured data. So basically what is semi-structured data? Semi-structured data is a data that has some structure but not enough to fit into a traditional relational database. Basically it is a combination of the structured as well as the unstructured data, right? So it is not actually in a total structure format, but it is somewhere in a structure, but it is not enough. We cannot fit it into a relational database. It is organized in such a way that makes it possible to store and process, but it does not confer to a strict data model. Here is an example of semi-structured data. Let's say you have a collection of customer orders for a clothing store, right? So basically each order is in the form of XML document which contains some structured data as well as some unstructured data. So XML tags are the tags which are self-created tags. So the tags are in a structure format, but the data which is written inside. So this is the example of the semi-structured data. As you can see that we have different tags like order, customer, name, email, item. We have in order we have customer. Customer, what is the name of the customer, what is the email of that customer, and then we have a closing tags for all these three tags. Then we have items, what items that customer have purchased, like what is the name of the item, what is the size, color, quantity. Then the next item's name क्या है, like jeans, and what is the size of jeans, what is the color, what is the quantity. Then what is the shipping. In shipping we have various tags like methods, address, but the text which is inside it, that is not in a structure format. So basically the tags are in the structure format and the content inside it is not in a structure format. So that is why we call it as a semi-structured data. So next is, and what is the basically the characteristics of data. So we have various characteristics of data. First is accuracy. Data should be accurate. What does we mean by the accuracy? So data should be accurate and free from errors. So accuracy, data should be accurate and free from errors to ensure that it provides reliable information for decision making. So I think this is the basic requirement for every data. Completeness, data should be complete, meaning that it includes all relevant information for a given context about which we are talking about. Consistency, again the consistency is a very important point. Data should be consistent, meaning that it is reliable, trustworthy over time and across different sources. So if we will be using the same data in the various places, that should be consistent, it should be reliable, it should be meaningful in different all the sources. Timeliness, data should be timely, meaning that it's available when it is needed and up to date, enough to be relevant and useful. So basically timeliness means कि if we need some data, that should be available at that time. Otherwise if it is available later on, then it is not a relevant data. Relevance, data should be relevant, meaning it's that it is appropriate for the intended use and purpose and provides meaningful insights and value. Accessibility, data should be accessible, meaning that it is easy to find, retrieve and use without unnecessary barriers or obstacles. Means whenever we want to access some data, it should be easily available. There should be no barricades to use that data. Security, data should be secure, meaning that it's protected against unauthorized access, theft or loss, and handled in accordance with relevant regulations and best practices. Granularity, data should have an appropriate level of granularity, meaning that it is broken down into the right level of detail to be useful without being too complex or overwhelming. These characteristics are important for ensuring that data is of high quality and can be used effectively to support decision making, analysis and other purposes. So these all are the points which are necessary in data analytics, and thank you so much.